Today is July 15, 2024. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life. This is Pro-Life Week. Well, it's a pretty slow news of this past weekend. Actually, if you believe that, I've got some swampland for sale. It's hard for me to imagine a weekend that we've gone through that has not been so packed with news. I mean, from the assassination attempt on Saturday. I know when you think about how close your ear is to your brain. I mean, that bullet was only about an inch or 2 inches away from hitting Donald Trump's brain. Would have killed him. It would have killed him. And I see God's providence just protecting that man for as many flaws as Donald Trump has. I still think that he has God's protection. I really do. And it was just amazing, pumping his fist, saying we're going to fight. I don't think he said that in a defiant way, but I think he did it in a way of, we're going to continue this fight, this campaign. We're gonna press on. We're not giving up, no matter what somebody tried to do. The devil was going to try to destroy me, but we're going to continue. That's how I took that pounding his fist in the air. And then this morning, I saw in the news that a federal judge in Florida has tossed out that case against Trump regarding retaining classified documents at his home in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. And the judge said that when that is it Mark Smith? I can't think of that special counsel's name is, that he was illegally brought on or unconstitutionally appointed to go after Trump. So the case is gone. How many times have we seen the Democratic Party overplay their hand? They just go too far. Last month, we had that trial in Manhattan, and Trump was going to be sentenced on July 11th, which was just a few days ago. And then after the Supreme Court ruled on that immunity case, the judge came back and said, well, this has changed things. So we're going to look at sentencing maybe in September. So that case may be tossed out. It's one, and the case in Georgia with that Fani Willis. She might be removed from the case because of that impropriety with the man she hired to prosecute the case. So it just seems like over and over again, the Democrats have overplayed their hand, and it's all coming back at them. I got to believe it's driving the Democrats crazy, because they thought for sure they were going to have 4 trials on Trump, and they were all going to stick, and they were all going to find him guilty, and all 91 indictments were going to come to fruition, and he was going to be locked up for 100 years, and he would never become president. Well, it just hasn't gone that way. It just hasn't gone that way. And then I just heard in the news that Trump has picked his vice presidential running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. And I mean, I think in many respects, Trump is pretty savvy, but I do struggle with this selection. You want to have a running mate that you can bounce ideas off of. He is in many respects your top advisor. You got your staff, you have your advisors, you have your campaign people, but your vice president is the person you need to bounce ideas off of. And I see in J.D. Vance a mini Trump, a carbon copy of Trump. If ever there was a MAGA Republican it's J.D. Vance. And, I just don't see what he brings to the campaign that will woo in independents or disaffected Democrats. I mean, Marco Rubio would have, I think, been able to bring in perhaps more Hispanics. Clearly, Tim Scott would have been able to solidify the evangelical base and bring in perhaps more black voters. I don't know. I just struggle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm supporting the ticket. I'm not going to abandon ship, but I just struggle that J.D. Vance was, at least from my vantage point, was the one Republican who I thought was the weakest of all of the candidates or the people who were in the top tier choices for Veep. I would have preferred, really, Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State, Tom Cotton, Senator from Arkansas. I mean, those were my two top picks, even more than Rubio. And then even Nikki Haley. I know people, we don't want her because she opposed Trump, and she was very vocal about it. But if you want to win in November, you need to be able to attract independent voters who may not want to look at a Trump-Vance ticket. But if it was a Trump-Haley ticket, well, there might have been a fair number of independents and disaffected Democrats who might have said, well, gee, Trump has picked Haley. They can bounce ideas. They're not 100% in sync, but they can work together like they did in his first term. Well, that didn't play out. That just did not play out. So Vance is the nominee, J.D. Vance. And I really believe after the assassination attempt, even though some people have said that Trump's not going to get a boost in the polls, I do think he will. I think the fact that he got up within 2 minutes after that shooting, admittedly, it was just a graze on the ear, but still, it was a bullet that grazed his ear, and he got up and in a show of strength. Some people might even say in a show of heroism. He told the world, I am not going away. And I wonder if Joe Biden would have had the same response if he had been shot in the ear. I just don't know. But I think this, I really believe that this assassination attempt solidified the Trump base, if ever they were going to vote for Trump. This would happen in Butler, Pennsylvania, more than ever. They will come out in droves to support their candidate, Donald Trump. And I know we didn't talk at all about abortion. The Republican convention is starting today, and it's going to go through Thursday of this week. Trump's going to speak on Thursday, give his acceptance speech because he's going to get the nomination. Abortion, I think abortion is going to come up this week. We'll see how it plays out. The party platform, the plank, it was watered down. I talked about that last time, and I don't want to rehash that. But we will see this week if the issue of abortion does play out at the GOP convention in Milwaukee. With that, I'll let you go. I will see you next time.